Buddy, you are on time, and we want to be respectful of that. Hey, Mr. Tom Baker, good to see you. So we're going to kick things off here. And today we have the Vice President of Member Engagement at Leading RE and LPI, Sarah McKittrick. If you've never worked with Sarah, haven't met her, haven't been to one of her trainings, you are absolutely in for a treat. And if you have met her and been to one of her trainings, that's probably why you're here, because you know she's a rock star. She does an amazing job at taking this partnership that we have with Leading RE and LPI and making it so tangible, useful, and really a great idea and platform to build your business. So if you could join me in a nice round of applause for Sarah McKittrick. Sarah, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Well, good morning, my friends. I am so glad to be with you in bright and sunny Chicago. So great to be with you. As Stephen mentioned, I am your VP, but I'm more than that. I'm your partner. I'm your resource. I'm your conduit. I'm your voice back to the network. And as I travel around the network, I spend a lot of time with agents. And what I am seeing is, in light of all of the massive consolidations that we're seeing in our industry, the shifts and changes that we've seen in a post-COVID world, real estate's always going to be a local business. But ladies and gentlemen, it is absolutely essential, but that we have the resources and tools and scalability of a global network. And I would argue that we are in the golden era of independence, because the reality is you've got everything you need. The scalability to maximize these partnerships in a way that allow you to pivot and adapt and be responsive in a way that local real estate requires. So it really is the best of all worlds. So colleagues like Kai's and Illustrated around the network are really maximizing this partnership at the agent level. And what's happening is, by maximizing this partnership, they're winning more listings, they're selling more properties, and they're making more money. And that's what we're going to talk about today: is what is this global partnership? What makes it better? And more importantly, how does it make you better to move the needle in your business? So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we are going to get underway. Feel free to ask questions, interrupt as we go through, but I want to begin with just a brief refresher. As I've mentioned, the partnership really enhances and empowers your brand. The promise of value that Kai's and Illustrated bring to the table are important, but at the end of the day, it's you as the agent. You're the sun, the moon, and the stars in this equation. And it's your ability to meet your clients where they're at. And again, shifting from that transactional model to that of trusted advisor. And I've spent many decades in residential real estate. I've worked with agents like you, and the very best of them really bring one, some, or all of these categories to the table. The pillars, I like to call it. The reason our clients choose to work with us time and time again boil down to one, some, or all of these factors. They're prioritized in different ways. It's how well we're connected in the community, the advantage and inside track that gives us, our expertise, again, guided by that insight that the connections bring, the intelligence that we have, the expertise to keep the transaction together, to negotiate at highest and best results, the expertise to know what's coming around the bend, the trends, what's happening in our markets, in our feeder markets, the factors that contribute to the residential real estate market as we know it. Access is a two-way street. What our buyers care about is, I have the connections and expertise to get you the property you seek at the best results. I have that inside track. Access for our sellers means I know who the buyers are, and I had demonstrated access to those buyers. So we're going to talk about your partnership with Leading RE and LPI in those terms, how you take elements of this partnership and elevate it into the components and the pillars that you bring to the table. So a very quick primer on Leading RE and what sets us apart from those global franchises that are out there, and that massive consolidation, what that looks like. Occasionally, the perception may be, well, Kai's is great, they're just a local brokerage. In reality, nothing could be further from the truth. You are connected in a multitude of ways. Obviously, not only in your partnership with Leading RE, but LPI and certainly Forbes as well. But a quick snapshot of that arms race, as I like to call it. If the perception is you're just local, you're not. When we combined all of the members in the Leading RE network, we outperform all of those global franchises. So when that counts, that matters. We have it in spades. But ladies and gentlemen, what's more important and what really truly sets Leading RE and their global network apart is the fact that the members are contractually obligated to make and send referrals. So this relationship network goes far beyond just staking another flag and selling another franchise. This is absolutely a network of meaningful connections and relationships. That conversion rate at the top of this list is what I really want to point out. 61% means 61% of the time when a referral is made through our network, it closes. That means successful fruition for our clients and everybody gets paid. Outside of this network, that number hovers somewhere in the low 20s, 20%. So a third of that. And that is really made up by the reality that our members are equipped to guide and facilitate in a very white glove way referrals. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit and how your colleagues are, growing their revenue with outgoing referrals. And we'll talk about that in just a bit. But our capabilities are second to none. And that's what really sets this large global footprint apart from some of the other franchises and pay-to-play networks out there. I'd like to touch a little bit on expertise. This is a real cornerstone of the Leading RE network. We are made up of absolutely passionate entrepreneurial individuals. None greater, in my opinion, than the Kai's group, and certainly the thought leadership that comes from Mike and Christina and folks with your organization. That is shared around the network, and the willingness to come together and share, and again, provide the tools and resources and insights that impact our business outside of our market footprints is increasingly important. None more important, certainly, than the geopolitics of our day and what's really happening in the economy and how it impacts real estate. Many of you may know this, some of you may not. The third Friday of every month, our chief global economist, Marcy Rosell, who is world renowned, spent years on CNBC, she travels the world and the globe and has a keen eye in understanding how to distill down these complex ideas. And specifically for us, what does that mean for real estate? So the third Friday of every month at 11 a.m. for 30 minutes, she breaks that down for us live. And we've added just this year in the second half hour, because so much is shifting and changing in our industry as a whole. Many of you are familiar with David Childers and Keeping Current Matters. His team joins us in that second half hour and allows us to get some insights in some of the realities that are facing us as an industry. So again, that global perspective is absolutely essential. But we take it a step further. Following that Marcy session, we have the top 5 takeaways. Super popular. Download it. It gives you the top 5 takeaways from that Marcy session. You take that in context, in part or in whole. Those of you who are doing market reports, how's the market? These are key insights in terms of elements that are impacting outside of your market footprint. Keeping Current Matters. In this partnership, we have, beyond that, a partnership with Keeping Current Matters. They launched this year because they're putting out so much data and content around trends and data in the real estate marketplace. They make all of that data and content available and help guide you as individual agents on how to parse that data and put that out and share intelligence and insights for your clients as you stay top of mind. Many of you are embracing video to great success. This gives you step-by-step instructions, scripts, in how to put this information and content in context for your clients. So again, that's part of the partnership. We have also committed in the last month and every single month around that third Friday of the month. So now the third Thursday and Friday, we do monthly live power-ups. That means leveraging our fantastic deans, Mike Staver, Dan Elzer, Matthew Ferrara, all world-renowned speakers in their own right, to guide and instruct us and coach us as we navigate some of these interesting times. So those monthly power-ups are live and available. If you're not able to attend, I encourage you to register anyway. You will get the recording. All of those recordings live on our dashboard and, of course, our Institute as well. If you haven't been to the Institute in a while, I encourage you to do so. We are regularly adding content. We have curated it so there are learning journeys and information that is going to be relevant to where you're looking to learn and grow. We've taken it a step further, and the deans, as I mentioned, are adding weekly wisdom, 3 to 5 minute videos in insights in what's happening. We have a great deal of content on AI. Many of us are embracing it in our day-to-day lives in a multitude of ways. That lives there. Matthew Farrar is doing a phenomenal series on AI, in particular how it relates to real estate. Webinar week, we have dedicated a full week coming up in December. I think we'll have a tech focus session in July, but that is all guided by some of the fantastic thought leaders that are part of our network. Coming together and sharing insights is what we do best. And I would argue our ability to come together, and this is a relationship business after all, nobody does it better. And because we're a global network, we gather annually, certainly in Las Vegas at our annual conference, but the Global Symposium has increasingly become of great interest to our US members. The ability to step outside of the US and get a deeper understanding of opportunities, golden visas. Some of our savviest clients are looking to round out their real estate portfolios outside of the US, getting an understanding of that. And not to mention the ability to gather in a more intimate setting in Barcelona, Spain this year at the end of October. Of course, our annual conference, nobody comes close to it. We will be at the Wynn next year at the end of March for our LeadingRE Limitless. For those of you who've never attended, we have fabulous tracks that run concurrently. Those of you who are interested in the luxury session and luxury portfolio partnership, there's a whole track dedicated to you and only luxury portfolio members. And then, of course, the Agent Summit as well. So, connections, expertise, lots to mine there and take advantage of. But let's talk about lead generation and referral resources. As I mentioned, this is the lifeblood of our network. It is absolutely the revenue source that allows us to provide all the resources and tools that we've talked about. Again, to have the best of all worlds that your quote unquote global franchise partners have, and all of the guidance and direction from your locally held ownership. There's nothing like it. I think Christina said we are Main Street, not Wall Street. So great opportunity to capitalize on that. I thought it would be interesting to take a look at, certainly when we think about referrals, it's hard not to just think about inbound activity and what happens. And certainly a great deal of activity comes to your very large and growing footprint in the state of Illinois or of Florida. So I wanted to grab for you, based on Kai's and illustrated all of your markets currently served. These are the top 10 states sending business to your companies, to your brokerage. Not unusual that the largest source of business comes from your state, but there's some interesting shifts and changes, certainly from states bringing business into your market footprint. Your incredible team led by Denise Talboy, second to none in this network. They are incredibly trusted and valued as referrals and opportunities come to your market footprint and they land in the very capable hands of that team. But beyond that, what the team does an incredible job of is they are your concierge, your white glove, starting off, jumping off point in ensuring that when you have beloved VIP clients of any kind, the ability for you to take care of their needs anywhere in the globe is really amplified here in our LeadingRE network. As I mentioned, bringing up that conversion rate, the fact that you have the care and the nurturing and the communication and clarity necessary to keep these transactions together, not to mention the really nurturing care that they receive on the other end. This, to me, is the key winning difference of our network. And for context and reference, your colleagues in the network earned an average of $3,600 last year, just in outgoing referrals. There's enormous opportunity, I would argue money being left on the table, for you to be able to articulate this power to your clientele. So what a lot of your clients or colleagues around the LeadingRE network are doing are articulating this and ensuring that their clients know that wherever your real estate needs take you, I've got you covered. So that LeadingRE social app is easily downloadable. You put in those codes, I'll go back really quickly. Again, download it in Apple, download it in the Google Play Store. But whether your Kais or illustrated, you just put that in one time. And there's a whole series of social media content that allows you to articulate this. So again, wherever your real estate needs may take you, I've got you covered. So think about interrupting that general feed of just listed, just sold, open this Sunday. The ability to say, listen, wherever your real estate needs may take you, I've got you covered. This is a LinkedIn post that I'm sharing with you. It's an agent up in Minneapolis. She does a huge book of business, far beyond the average of $3,600 in earned income and outgoing referrals. She has a regular post and mixes this up. This happens to be LinkedIn, and I love this. I've got your back whether you're buying or selling, and guess what? It's a win-win for you and no extra cost. If you're looking to make a move and it's on my stomping grounds, I'm your personal guide through the whole process. But if it takes you beyond that, I tap into the local pros at LeadingRE. I vet them, ensuring that this is a good match. And together, we take care of your needs. So whether it's across the street or across the globe, I've got you covered. And I want to emphasize this. Your ability to stay involved in this is absolutely there. You have the ability to, together with Denise and her team, to interview potential agents on the other side. I'm seeing more and more agents stay involved in this process. The fact that your clients feel well taken care of, the ability for you to vet them, and then again, build a relationship with an agent on the other side. And again, in those feeder markets, those are flourishing. Those are burgeoning relationships, and why so many agents choose to come to our conference year after year. But again, the incredible care and nurturing that happens from the beginning with Denise and her team, and then of course the folks on the other side. All of that is seen and felt. We have a tremendous number of referral, just absolute true success stories, and we'll touch on that a little bit. Again, at all price points, the ability for you to say, and oftentimes I think referrals are thought of in terms of more reactive, that a client comes to you and says, hey, do you know anybody? And of course, we're more than happy to respond. But I encourage you to open up your mind and think, you know what? My clients and my sphere of influence, they know, like, and trust me. They work with me time and time again. They may have left your market footprint, but you stay in touch with them. Your ability to say, you know what? Aunt Betty needs to downsize in Kansas City. I've got you covered. We'll make that connection. We'll make sure that we have the vetted pros on the other side, and you can stay as involved as you'd like. So great opportunity, and enormous opportunity for you to generate more revenue on top of what you're doing in your market footprint. So let's talk about this in terms of brand and property marketing. And we'll talk about this at all price points first, and then we're going to close out talking about luxury portfolio, particularly as you're working in the high end and some of the new elements there. But I want to make sure that regardless of price point, you're ensuring that maximum exposure and that brand opportunity to get your brand out there, to really stamp your brand as local and global with LeadingRE. So a reminder that no matter what the price point is, if you're taking a commercial listing, whatever that is, you have the ability for that to be exposed on the LeadingRE website or the commercial website as well. It's a much more robust search function now, much more user-friendly, great opportunity for your properties to be amplified on top of what you're promising on a local IDX feed basis. So a nice differentiator. For those properties that are not quite at the million plus range for LPI, rest assured, if you have those savvy clients, maybe a really high-end condo that sort of falls into that 800,000 range, secondary or tertiary property, we do have the partnership with the Wall Street Journal, and you're able to take advantage of that partnership. It's $3.99 for 6 months of exposure on the Wall Street Journal websites, Barron's, Penta, Market Watch, etc. So that's all encompassing, and that's true of all of your properties. Let's shift into gear and talk about the Luxury Portfolio Partnership. You're obviously incredibly honored to have the Forbes partnership. This gets you exposure for those listings 2 million and above. A reminder, Luxury Portfolio is 1 million and above. This to me in the a guaranteed global exposure is really the cornerstone of this partnership. And your colleagues are taking advantage of that, whether they're actively marketing properties or not. This becomes a part of your luxury marketing program, your global promise of that ability to, enhance connections, expertise, access, and of course, reach and exposure. If you haven't been on the Luxury Portfolio website, I encourage you to do so. It is an absolutely gorgeous, much more user-friendly experience. You are now able to search by lifestyle. Obviously, that fills the bill for quite a few of your properties, whether they're golf course, waterfront, certainly larger parcels of land, whatever the case may be, all of that can be searched and it can be distilled down in great specifics. Nevertheless, great exposure for your properties on Luxury Portfolio. That goes live. There's nothing you need to do. It goes live within 24 hours of your property being live on your local MLS. So that's all being fed automatically. But what happens within hours of being live on Luxury Portfolio, your property is broadcast on all of your global syndicated partners. Many of these will be familiar to you. I've highlighted two new partnerships that we launched this year. Rob Report, this platform and website has been around for several decades, really strong, not just in residential real estate, but they focus on luxury automobiles, timepieces, again, all the elements that orbit around that affluent lifestyle. So live on the Rob Report, PropGo Luxury. This is a truly global platform with an emphasis on Asia and all of Asia. You may recall this was the website that fueled the Financial Times of London. While we still have a partnership with them in print, they have sunset that property website, but we have the PropGo Luxury, which is a wonderful companion, certainly to all of the Wall Street Journal family. Mansion Global, which is tied to the lifestyle. And then, of course, Barron's, Penta, and MarketWatch tied to Dow Jones. Country Life, again, a UK-based publication, has real cachet, particularly for those clients who have larger parcel of lands in secondary homes. That's a very nuanced niche publication. James Edition, entirely all European-based and a strong following there. Juwai helps penetrate that Chinese firewall, and of course, LeadingRE and Luxury Portfolio. But what I want to emphasize is certainly you should be talking about the fact that your property is now live on all of these websites. Incidentally, we are in the beta testing period and we're about to go live. When your property goes live on Luxury Portfolio, you will get an email from us that says your property is now live, and it will share the details of that. And then following up about 10 days later, it will share all of the links and your syndicated partner. So looking forward to that coming. We'll keep it top of mind for you. But great opportunity to take advantage of this in the way that we measure the analytics. And historically, and we continue to have Lux Analytics, which is our proprietary measurement of all the engagement that happens on the Luxury Portfolio platform. This is a great way to slice and dice the data. You can certainly do it individually for your listing or your inventory. The fabulous marketing team under Madeline Modarski has admin capabilities. They can pull that data in a 30-day period of time for all of Kai's or Illustrated, which is great. Data tells a story. So great way to look at, where are the views coming from? Cities, states, countries, etc. What platforms are they coming from? Languages, currencies, that sort of thing. Really helpful to slice that. But we have all of these global syndication partners, and we have long wanted to share the engagement that's happening on all of those platforms. And I'm thrilled to announce that you can now do that in our partnership with ListTrack. So in addition to Lux Analytics, now you have the ability to share an aggregate of all of those syndicated partner numbers. So again, all of this lives on our dashboard, and you will see ListTrack, which allows you to take a look at that and see where the engagement is coming from. You're going to see every single publication, day to day. You can set a period of time, 30 days or a custom amount of days, to take a look at the engagement and break that down There is a mapping and satellite. Where are those views coming from? And this is my favorite part of List Track. You can toggle it and look at it from a list standpoint, and that will show you all of the zip codes and countries that those views are coming from. You can upload that into a spreadsheet. Those of you who are doing, geo-targeting or retargeting, great perspective to see where those views are coming from. And again, the ability to share this not only directly with your sellers, but with your clients. So there's reporting options. You can look at the analytics. You have reporting options. You can set it and forget it, or even set it to send to you, every 2 weeks, every 30 days, to take a look and see, parse out the data that you think is valuable and has insight. So you can see the dashboard. This is an example of what the report looks like. You can break it down and share that as a link and show additional information, the top cities and the websites that delivering that engagement. And as always, you have both. I'm a big believer in more is better, and the ability to have a touchstone with your sellers and say, this is demonstrated proof of the kind of, engagement and the exposure and reach that I'm delivering to you on a daily basis. So tie that in with all of what you're doing, boots on the ground, what Kai's and Illustrated are doing on your behalf. Tie that into your brand and your ability to really deliver meaningful results on behalf of your sellers. But don't be afraid to parse that out and share that with your sphere of influence. This is, I've just taken 123 Mockingbird Lane live, and we are live on all of my global syndication partners. Here's the top 5 countries coming in, states, etc. The really some important data points.
Sarah,
Occasion-
as you mentioned that as well, not to interrupt, I think that's such a great point. And as you mentioned, luxury and data tells such a story through Lux Analytics. We have a few questions that have come through over the last few
Sure,
slides. Do you mind if we toss
let's
those
do
out
it.
now? All right. So thank you. And as I said at the start of this, guys, if you had never heard Sarah present before, I told you this hour is going to fly by because she's so passionate about this and cares so deeply that you can feel it come through the screen. So the first question that we have for you, Sarah, is it was regarding the 399 when you were discussing the Wall Street Journal. And the question is the 399 for the Wall Street Journal exposure, is it per listing or is it per agent during this 6-month time period?
No, that's a great question, and thank you. And I want to remind you, it's just those listings that don't quite qualify for luxury portfolio. So you have a listing that may be in that sort of 899 range, and it's, a condo, super savvy sellers. That 399 is per listing. And again, all of that's happening automatically when you're luxury portfolio and a million and above, but it is per listing. It is not per agent. And so it goes for that 6 month period, buys you that exposure on the Wall Street Journal websites.
Okay, got it. That makes sense. Thank you. And the next question was just regarding the listing marketing exposure that you were touching upon a little bit before Lux Analytics. And it was, do we have marketing listing for these sites with the description of their market audiences as well?
Fabulous, fabulous question. And that actually segues us into the additional exposure. So before we get into additional exposure opportunities, add-ons and opportunities to buy into our media kit, I want to draw you to our media kit and encourage you to explore, because in that media kit, it's a digital media kit. You will see all of the global syndication partners, has a description of what that website is, who are their users, and what sorts of metrics do they deliver, what sort of audience do they have. And you can link directly from the media kit to all of the global syndication partners. So I encourage you to go, by the way, grab that. Build that into your own materials, your listing presentation materials. Again, your own ability to articulate the power of your brand to deliver, that sort of reach and exposure that's important. So that all lives in our media kit. So great question. Anything else?
We just had one follow-on question regarding the Wall Street Journal pricing, and it was if the listing sells before the 6 months are finished, do we have to continue paying?
No, it's $3.99. So it goes for 6 months or the life of the listing, whichever is up first.
Perfect. Thank you. And that's all, Sarah, for now. Back to you.
All right, super. So let's assume you've taken on a significant listing and you know that the seller's going to have expectations beyond your standard global exposure. we have curated some of the greatest opportunities for you to take advantage of our pricing. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I am going to highlight a couple of things that are new this year that I think are of great interest, because not only is this an opportunity for you to expose the property and garner that exposure for your sellers on their behalf, but it's also an opportunity for you to get your brand out there and again reshare that kind of exposure. So in addition to the standard, Wall Street Journal print advertising, some of the upgrades for that, we launched this year a package, if you will. And so these are listing campaigns that are very listing centric that allow you to take advantage of the digital programs that we have. So the signature program is a 14-day program that allows you to capitalize on paid Instagram and Facebook ads, a Wall Street Journal listing upgrade, which means when you're in the Wall Street Journal, you get a banner upgrade and it brings you to the top of the search for the town that you're in. It also gives you at the end a campaign report. So at the end of that 14 days, it has a full report of where you were, examples of the ads, and then the metrics and analytics and the engagement that you garnered for that. The Elite takes it a little longer. It's a 30-day period. It's a little bit more exposure. As you can see, they're sort of broken down here. And then, of course, Global is a little bit more of that global audience, takes advantage of those platforms outside of the US footprint. So in that media kit, some great opportunities, certainly advertising in the magazine, Luxury Portfolio Magazine, which of course just came out, in addition to some others, taking advantage of some of that exposure. I'm not going to go through all the details there, but I encourage you to take a look and know that your marketing team is very well versed in this media kit. Aaron Fisk and all the folks there to support you are deeply familiar. So if you are taking on a listing and need to put a media plan together, they're well versed in giving you suggestions, and certainly support at luxuryportfolio.com can help you navigate that. What I'd like to close out with is how to stay top
And
of
sorry,
mind. Yes, go ahead.
we have illustrated on too, so it would be Juhi and Austin in illustrated market.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. Thank
Sorry.
you. Thank you. Huge shout out to Julie as well. I thank you, Christina. Um, what I want to emphasize is certainly perhaps you aren't currently with a listing in luxury portfolio. How can you start taking advantage of this partnership today? How can you start dovetailing this into your own unique brand and your own unique promise of value? So just as I mentioned with the LeadingRE social app, we have the Luxury Portfolio app. Same thing. Download it from Google Play Store or the Apple, and you put in your unique code, whether it's Illustrated or Kai's, and you have access to all of the luxury portfolio content. And it's deeper and connected to some of the intelligence. You'll notice on the luxury portfolio website, we are regularly covering the orbit of the affluent lifestyle. So it's wellness, it's travel, it's design, your ability to capitalize on that and grab and connect to that content comes to you directly from that's LPI social app. So here's just a couple of examples. We are also curating that data every single month in the Lux Trends newsletter. And each of you are able to sign up to 1,000 of your clients for the Lux Trends newsletter. And this goes out each and every month from you. And again, it has certainly highlighted really exemplary properties from around the network. And again, the ability for you to globalize your brand and really connect and demonstrate the partnership and can be very compelling. And again, the way that your clients experience your brand, it takes it a step further than how do we organize your pantry? Spring cleaning tips and so forth. It's certainly a step further. And our partnership with Luxury Daily allows us to also pair to those luxury brands that our clients associate and relate to, and Hermes and Chanel and beyond. So all of that is available. It's included in your membership. It's a partnership right now. Currently, you cannot add any new names currently on the dashboard. Simply reach out to support at luxuryportfolio.com if you have new clients you'd like to add. Share your spreadsheet. We will upload those for you. That will be coming soon. Another fantastic calling card for each of you, whether you've taken a property on with luxury portfolio or not. Each of you have the ability to gift 10 complimentary subscriptions. That's 2 issues in a calendar year to 10 clients. So each of those is automatically included. You're able to do that. If you choose to take more than 10, each subsequent subscription is $5. So really elevated calling card, in many ways, the living embodiment of our website, and just a really elevated way for your clients to experience you. Great way to circle back with your clients under that partnership. We are also committed to a deeper understanding of the research and data that impacts global real estate. Again, what's happening in other high-end markets around the globe. We just released our 2026 Luxury Market Pulse Report. This is a quick snapshot in what's happening in other markets. Some great takeaways, trends that we're seeing, commonalities. This is also the reporting that we do, the research and data we put out is a very powerful tool in driving traffic back to our website and ultimately to our members and the properties that they represent. But you're able to download this, take this in part or in whole, draw parallels to your market in terms of what's happening. There's a great way for you to stay top of mind with this data and intelligence that articulates the local global component of your brand. I want to reemphasize before we close out, certainly when we are dealing in the high end and we're staying top of mind with our clients in that space, the unique and compelling aspect of your partnership and your global network, the ability to make those connections and vet beyond just, doing that on their own. The clientele has a deep appreciation for that. This is articulated, and you can download this, the benefits and power of global introductions. It's consumer facing, but it's a great reminder and some wonderful testimonials in the ways that your clients around or your colleagues around the network are maximizing this partnership. We just launched a new partnership back in December with members in Scottsdale. Super savvy agents who had come from Compass, who had come from Sotheby's and are part of this brokerage. They share the Forbes network with all of you. These agents were blown away by our network and the power and the depth of these connections and the ability to serve beyond just in our market footprint, to serve our clients who've long left our market that we're still in touch with, to guide them as perhaps their son just got a new job in San Francisco. The ability to say, oh, your kiddo just got accepted to Northwestern. We've got connections in Evanston, all of that. What that looks like and our ability to be that true trusted advisor to our clients is especially amplified as we get into this higher end space. So I encourage you to play around with this and make sure that as you analyze and audit your digital footprint, do your clients know, see, and feel that you have these global connections, that you have the power to deliver those and take advantage and give inside track with your connections, your expertise, your access, reach, and exposure. So in closing, I'm thrilled to announce that all of the tools and resources that we just talked about live on our dashboard. You have access to that from your SSO, and I'm thrilled to announce it is ever so much simpler. Stephen will agree, as will Judy.
It's fantastic.
And Aaron, your ability to find any of the tools that we've just talked about are as simple as a search function in there. We are ultimately going to have an AI component coming to this, but again, everything that we've just talked about, the media kit, resources, some great tools that I recommend for you if you want to take a deeper dive. Go into LPI marketing, the marketing resources, the agent guide to LPI, some great tools as you guide. Go play around, take a look at this. All of the live webinars that we talked about, you can register right from here. So get familiar and take a look. And lastly, for sure, those of you who maybe are not receiving our newsletters, Luxury Portfolio comes out every month. You get LPI in 5. Everything that's new and coming out, if there's live webinars, any activities that are happening with LPI are accessible and available to you there. LeadingRE Insider comes out every Tuesday morning. It is a great snapshot of what's happening Again, we have tons of live webinars and events that are happening, all part of your membership. It's right at your fingertips, easy to access and register directly from that Leading RE Insider newsletter. Any questions, thoughts, comments as we follow up?
In terms of thoughts and comments, you can see in the chat, people are thrilled. They're so excited about all these resources. Again, it's exciting because Sarah, we know of these partnerships and we've heard of certain resources and tools, but to have this refresh and reminder, especially as we're going into the summer season, is such a great time to be refreshed on this. And as a quick reminder for all of us as well, we have our program for the Kai's company every single quarter where we train on these tools. Sneak peek, we're getting close to getting one launched for Illustrated as well. So that's going to be really fun. And again, a big shout out to Denise. She had mentioned that in Christina Pappas's weekly emails, there's the Leading RE Insider and so many great tools. So Sarah, we just can't thank you enough. Denise, thank you for helping coordinate this as well. And Sarah, if you were to boil everything down, we're thinking about Leading RE and LPI and business development and our tools and luxury and everything you're covering. If you were to boil it down into one kind of final golden nugget, what would that takeaway be for everyone on the call today?
Absolutely. This is of you, not outside of you. You are the sun, the moon, and the stars in this equation. Take these tools, curate them, build them into the brand, and step back and look at how your clients experience you and your brand. You're listening carefully. You're understanding where their priorities are, maybe where past challenges existed. Learn how to take these elements and pair your solutions to their challenges and opportunities. And so much is here. It's not about walking in and having a phone book of all the details and going page by page. It's deeply understanding how these partnerships make you better and allow you to create more meaningful results for your clients. That's the key. And it really is of you. So get familiar and know how this makes you better and allows you to continue to build trust and be that go-to advisor for your clients. There's an awful lot there. Certainly the partnerships that you have with Kai's and Illustrated, what Forbes brings to your realm, but also Leading RE and LPI. But overall, it's I'm local, I'm global, and ultimately what that means for your clients. So I encourage you to step back and audit your digital footprint. How your clients come to you. Do they know, see, and feel you have these partnerships, that you have this scalability, that you have this partnership, that you have the ability to serve their needs anywhere in the world? This is important and compelling, and it's valued. So some of the suggestions I have, go ahead and follow Leading RE and LPI on social media. See what your colleagues are doing, what other folks in the network are doing. Get familiar. We talked about those states that send business into your footprint. Get to know those companies. Get to know, build those relationships. Leverage this global content, data. Oh, look at it. Put it in context of what it means for your unique and special part of the world. Draw those parallels. Those email templates we have that allow your clients to know, hey, I can serve your needs anywhere. That ability to let them know that you are able to tap into these local pros anywhere, vet them, and work together and guide them. Be that go-to trusted advisor. And again, get familiar with what this partnership is and how it makes you better. Practice that elevator pitch. Get to know, because it's really all about you and how it allows you to serve your clients in an elevated way, and certainly helps to differentiate from your competition out there. So again, it's not a one size fits all. I hope that was an adequate answer to
That
your
was a great
fantastic
answer. No,
question.
that
But
was
anyway,
perfect. It was perfect. And thank you for that, Sarah. And I don't know if you're seeing in the chat, but everybody's saying thank you so much, Sarah. It was such a great presentation. And just a quick side note, if there's a question we didn't have a chance to answer yet today live, feel free to
okay.
send Juhi, obviously at Illustrated Properties, an email. You can feel free at Kai's to send me an email or send us both the email. We'll get you taken care of. But again, Sarah, just a big thank you so much for taking all these tools and resources, boiling it down, making it bite-sized and useful. We really, really appreciate it. So if you guys could join me in a nice round of applause for Sarah. Again, thank you so much, Sarah.
Thanks again, everybody. Really appreciate you. Looking forward to seeing you real soon. All
Of
right.
course. Thank you
Be
guys. And
well.
we'll see you next Monday on our next session. Thanks so much, everybody.
Okay. Thanks again. Bye-bye.